someone that they have to answer and that they have to serve and that they have to take care of. So that is the reasoning behind it. It is good. I tested it out with Sheila in my front office before we even started it, and the very first call she made, she said, "It's a great day in South Carolina. How may I help you?" And the caller said, "It is a great day in South Carolina." So it's a good start and something that I'm very proud of, and I think it will do us well. The purpose of these town halls, we are on a set of about 7 town halls. And the purpose of these town halls is, one, to keep a promise that I made to you, which was you are never going to have to come to me to find out what it is that we're doing in the state. I am always going to come to you. And also to allow direct coordination between us in terms of what I'm doing in the governor's office, but also to allow you to see your elected officials and deal with them directly. I think now more than ever that direct communication matters, and that direct communication is needed. And so we'll continue to do these. At the last set of town halls, we talked about challenges and we asked help from legislators. And I will tell you that just 2 of the things that you got from these great group of legislators is now we passed illegal immigration reform in South Carolina, and we mean business in the state of South Carolina. We are probably going to get sued on that front, but I will tell you that while we are a country of laws, while we are a country of immigrants, we are a country of laws. And when we give up being a country of laws, we give up everything that makes our country great. So we're going to continue to fight for that. And the second thing is we did pass voter ID to protect the integrity of the voting process in the state. We now are saying that if you have to show a picture ID to get Sudafed, if you have to show a picture ID to get on a plane, you need to show a picture ID to vote. And so we heard that there were thousands of people that would not be able to get to the DMV. And so we had a voter ID day, and we said that we will help you get your voter ID. And we had 685 calls that came in through the State House, and we helped all of those people get the information they needed. And in the end, we had 22 people that needed rides to the DMV, and we successfully got them to the DMV and successfully got them taken care of. So that was another great thing. We talked last time I did this town hall that we were going to have a legislative report card. And the legislative report card was once again to try and let you know exactly what are the things we were trying to get done in our state and exactly how your elected officials responded to it. There's not one thing on this report card that they weren't aware of would be on the report card. They were notified prior. You were notified prior, and so you can see exactly how this all played out. We obviously got a lot more done in the House, and I thank the House members for that. We had some stall factors in the Senate, and I would ask for your help on that front in terms of getting the Senate to understand that time is money and we need to keep things moving for the people of the state so that they can get it done. The first thing I want to do is tell you who your A-team in this area was, because you've got a great A-team. So I'm going to ask you to stand up and let everybody give you the credit that is due. These people made A's, worked with us the entire legislative session, helped us the entire way, and deserve a great, great thank you from you. So let's start with Representative Ralph Norman. Stand up and let them give you Representative Gary Simrel. Representative Deborah Long. Representative Tommy Pope. And Representative Dennis Moss. Thank you very much, and I will tell you that the one thing I always say is that you have to hold legislators' hands to the fire. But the second thing is when you see them do the right thing, praise them for it. It's not easy. There's a lot of pressure in Columbia. There's a lot of politics that are played, and when they go out of their way to really try and get things done, we have to thank them. So I thank all of you. I thank you for your friendship. I thank you for your support. And I look forward to moving ahead. But they are the reasons, and they did fight for tort reform, for getting legislative votes on the record, for Medicaid reform, all those things that are really making a difference for us today. So I thank them for that. So where do we go from here? My number one priority in this administration is jobs, jobs, jobs. I think, live, eat, and breathe it every single day. It's the one thing I know that we have to do. And the way we start doing that is by taking care of the businesses we already have. And when you take care of the businesses you already have, they are the ones that expand. They are the ones that become your cheerleaders, and that's what we happen to see in the small town of Graniteville, South Carolina, when we announced the largest investment in South Carolina history with Bridgestone, $1.2 billion in a town that had seen a train wreck and had not seen any activity. 850 jobs. It was a huge boost in the arm, and just the beginning of what we're going to do with jobs. We are announcing jobs weekly, and the best part is it's not just in Greenville and in Charleston. They are in Dillon, they are in Union, they are in Jasper, they are in Marlborough County, they're in Chesterfield. It is all over the state. What we are trying to do is go into the rural areas, trying to go into those areas that don't normally get the jobs, and encourage companies to go there. And yes, that's tiny print because there's a whole lot of them. And what I will tell you is up to date, since January, we have announced over 13,000 jobs in the state of South Carolina. Manufacturing jobs, high manufacturing jobs, the number one type of businesses that are coming here, automotive, aerospace, research and development, high manufacturing. It's everything that we want to see in South Carolina, and those don't include the construction jobs that come with it or the secondary jobs. When I talk to companies about coming here, the number one ask I have with them is if you're going to do business in South Carolina, what I ask is that you hire South Carolina people and that you use our small South Carolina businesses to do your work. And they are doing that. I've bragged a long time about Boeing that 91% of their contracts are with South Carolina businesses. You're going to see that with every company that comes through because it's one of the asks that I make before we ever sign a deal. And so those are the things that we continue to do. And you will see that we have had $2.6 billion in investment to the state of South Carolina just since January. So things are looking good. To understand what we need to do to bring jobs in South Carolina and what people are looking for and what companies are looking for, I want to give you the elements of what I have conversations with the CEOs. The first thing they care about is that the cost of business has to be low. And in South Carolina it is. And my focus is how do we get it lower? How do we stay competitive? Because right now, we have a lot of international companies looking into the United States to do business. The cost of the dollar is low. It's perfect time for them to invest into the United States. They are looking into the Southeast, and we've got to make sure South Carolina is where they look. The way we've done that was with a great hit in the arm with tort reform this year. We finally put spending caps on tort reform so that we're no longer open-ended for frivolous lawsuits. That was huge, and they love to see that. The second thing is, absolutely. When I came into office, we had our DHEC board, our Health and Environmental Control Board. I wiped the entire slate clean, and the person that is leading the DHEC board is the president of a construction company. He understands time is money. He understands that we have to move these permits quickly, and that is why Boeing was 6 months ahead of schedule. That is why you're seeing these companies come in, because we can get them in ahead of the curve. And we're focusing on agencies. What can the agencies do to reduce license fees, reduce regulations, and make it a little bit easier to do business with? The one thing I asked my cabinet agency for in this past meeting was I want all of their cell phone use. I want to know every state employee that's using a cell phone. I want to know all the cars that are being used in the agencies. When are they being driven? Are they being driven home and back to work? Which employees are we giving them to? And then I asked for their internet usage. How much are they using the internet when they're at work? This doesn't mean that we don't trust state employees. What this does mean is, just like in the private sector, are we using best practices? Are we doing everything we need to? And we're just trying to make sure that we're being accountable in the way that we're doing that. The second reason we are getting calls is because every time I go on national TV, I talk about the fact that the NLRB going after Boeing is the most un-American thing I have ever seen. And the more I talk about Boeing and the more I talk about the NLRB, the more I have companies calling us wanting to do business in South Carolina. So there is a reason to my madness, and I will tell you that it is working. South Carolina has a lot to be proud of, because in a time where we have Boeing and Michelin and Bridgestone and BMW, we don't have unions in those plants.